Hey friends, today I'm going to be reviewing and comparing 3 of the most popular fragrances in the world. Let's talk about it. Hey friends, John here from Proverbs 27:9 Fragrances. Today I'm going to be doing a comparison video between BR540, Aventus, and Parfums de Marly Layton. If you would, go ahead and make sure that you like this video, share it across your social media platforms, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and that you got the notifications turned on so that way you're notified every time we upload this sweet smelling fragrance related content. So in the world of Fragcom, you know that these 3 fragrances here are 3 of the most reviewed, talked about, sold, worn out fragrances in the world. And so much so that my channel, I don't even know, honestly, if I have individual reviews of these 3 fragrances. I know I don't have one of this one for sure. I think maybe I did a first impression of this one, and I've talked about this fragrance from time to time, and I've got some comparison videos on some clones of it and things of that nature. But as far as doing individual reviews, I haven't done that because it's been done so many times. But since all these fragrances are more than 10 years old, I thought it'd be neat to kind of go back, because these are still 3 of the absolute most popular fragrances in the world. They still sell great. They're still, and everybody's, top 10 beast mode, top 10 compliment, top 10 this or that. So I thought it'd be neat to kind of give a take from someone who, honestly, these fragrances are not really in my typical wheelhouse of wearing, but I definitely, of the 3, there's one that I wear more than the others. There's one that I think is the best smelling, and there's one that I really don't like. And so one fragrance is an indie house, one is a niche house, and one is maybe the most popular clone house in the world. I meant to say that in the intro, but MFK being an indie house where the perfumer went out on his own and just kind of started making his fragrances, and he still works for other companies. Then of course you've got the niche house, and then PDM is kind of known by a lot of folks. I'm not saying that it's my opinion, but a lot of folks think that this is actually the most successful clone house in the world. It's a Middle Eastern house, and they do make a lot of fragrances that smell a lot like other fragrances. They're definitely not solely a clone house, but you could also say the same thing about Al Haramain. They're known as a clone house, yet they do make some very good, original fragrances. And PDM is more known as an original house, but they make some things that are pretty close to other things too. So anyways, we're going to talk about these today. So, all right, I'm going to start with Baccarat Rouge 540, just give you a little bit of background on it, because maybe you're watching and you've never heard of this fragrance. That'd be crazy, right? So this fragrance is from, again, the House Maison of Francis Kirkjohn. He is the perfumer, and this is the fragrance that put him, or at least his company, on the map. He was already on the map as a great perfumer. Now he is the in-house perfumer at, is it Dior, I believe, and still does his indie, fragrances. So the vibe of this fragrance is, it's elegant, it's sweet, it's got that little bit of that leathery synthetic oud. There's like saffron here. It's got that candy floss vibe, almost smells like burnt sugar a little bit. It is unisex, I would say leaning feminine, but you know, I can wear this fragrance, and I'm somebody who really is not high, or at least didn't used to be very high on anything that remotely smelled unisex. But you know, my fragrance profile is changing as well. So this, you know, this fragrance, great, long lasting, super performance, fills a room, leaves a great sillage and scent trail. Then you've got Creed Aventus, 2010 release, perfumer Erwin Creed, not really, Jean-Christophe Hérault. I've got that book, The Ghost Perfumer, somewhere. But again, another luxury high-end. It's crazy what Creed prices have went up to. MFK prices are, you know, for a 70 ml, I don't know, what are they, $350 or so, 335 maybe. And Creed for a 50 ml, you know, they're asking like $360. And if you get the big bottle, they're wanting $400 and $500. Now you can still get them for around $200 from discounters and resellers and gray market and all that, but their qualities went in the tank, and yet their price has went through the roof. Are they still owned by BlackRock, which is a venture capital company that owns a third of everything in the world? I'm not sure, but if so, that's probably explains to you why their quality went down and their price went up. But you know this fragrance, it's a great smelling fragrance. My bottle is aging really nicely. It smells better today than it did. I wore this the other day. It smells better today than it did when I bought it. There's a lot of kind of herbal notes and kind of masculine notes. This one has gotten more masculine as it has matured and macerated in the bottle. Longevity wise though, this one doesn't perform as well as this one. So there's that. And it's just because I do have, even though my bottle's 2 or 3 years old now, it's not one of the old when it was just being made by Creed. And then they got sold to somebody, then they got sold to somebody else. And I think maybe they're even sold to somebody else. But anyway, so there's Creed Aventus, and then we've got Parfum de Marly Layton. I think retail price on this is better than the other two. I think this is still for is this a 70? 2.5, 75 ml bottle. I think these are around 225, 250, and maybe the big bottles are more like 325. You pick these up. You can pick these up sub 150 a lot of times for the small bottles. Even some PDMs I've seen go as low as 110 on places like Aura Fragrance, or I don't know about Fragrance Buy. Never bought a PDM from them, but I know I bought several from Aura Fragrance, and when they're in stock, you can get them from that 110 to 150 range for the smaller bottles. Around 185 for the bigger bottles. This fragrance, again, all of these are compliment monsters. This fragrance here, they're all also room fillers if you spray them on nice. This one is going to outperform most of the other fragrances you have. This, but super woody, super sweet, sickeningly sweet in certain, like I can't wear this in the summertime in any kind of heat. It's cloying. But I do love the dry down. I do love the woods, all that. So how do they rank in comparison to one another? So let's talk about performance. So let's start with projection, not performance. Let's start with projection. This is when you first spray it on. Which one is the loudest? Of these three, this one is the loudest, okay? This one, you know, if you put and I'm a heavy sprayer, so I'm gonna go light. When light sprayers, I say spray 2 to 3. Average sprayers spray about 5. Heavy sprayers are gonna go 7 and up, and I spray 10 to 12. All right, just about everything. Maybe these 3, I don't spray that heavy. On these 3, I probably am more like 5 to 7, okay? But if you spray 5 of this, 5 of this, 5 of this, the one that is gonna fill the room the most on that first 15 minutes, I think is this one. It's pretty close between this one, and this one's not bad, but it'd be 1, 2, 3, okay? Now, when we talk about performance, how long they will last on either your skin or your clothing, they all are pretty good performers in that regard. But I'd say that again, Aventus is the weakest. I would say that it's probably the same, 1, 2, 3. Although this one might last a little bit longer. Sillage wise, what leaves the bigger scent trail, the better scent trail? I think this is probably 1, this is probably 2, and this is probably 3. And it's because scent trail, sillage, and all that, I don't know, there's something about this one being so, of the 3, this one almost feels more like a better concentration, thicker, stickier. It's gonna scent closer to the skin. But again, all 3 of these are beast mode in the sillage scent. You're gonna get better performance, longevity, all that out of these than you're going to out of your average designer fragrance. But let's talk about which ones get more compliments, and then which ones do I think smell the best, okay? So of these 3, compliment wise, I can tell you, I've gotten fewer compliments with this, and I really don't know why. I couldn't tell you if I've gotten more than a handful of compliments all the different times I've wore PDM Layton. Now, of these 2, which one gets more compliments? It's actually this one. Men seem to compliment this one, where everybody seems to compliment this one, and women compliment it more than they compliment this, for sure, almost always. I don't get a lot of compliments with Aventus or any other Aventus style fragrances. Women seem to not like the citrus, woody, musky as much as they like the sweet, woody, ambery. And so the compliments I've gotten off of Layton have typically been from females. This one, it's all over the place. This one, it's men. So females, men, and then everybody, And even if they don't really love the way it smells, it gets their attention. So I said that to say this. Of the 3, how would I rank them? What I think smells the best to the least? I think the best one is Aventus. I think the worst one is BR540, and I think Layton is right there in the middle. I love the way Aventus smells. It's masculine. It's very bold. It's nice, sweet, fruity, but it's the right type of sweet. I'm not a gourmand guy. I don't like sugary sweet. That's why I don't go out and buy every new designer fragrance that hits the shelves right now. I've got some new ones to review. Like I've got the new Aquadagio Elixir to review. I've got the new Hero Parfum. I've got to do, I can't even remember, but all those are my youngest son. He works at Dillard's. He's buying these up. He likes the sweet stuff. I'm going to review them for you, but I'm not going out and buying those because everything is just sickeningly super sweet right now, and everything smells the same. But when this fragrance come out, nothing smelled like this. And it's, it's more my type of sweetness, fruity, citrusy sweetness with the black currant, the bergamot, and all that. This one is not something that I can have very many in my collection like. It is just really, really sweet. I would classify this as a gourmand fragrance. But there's enough broad notes in there that I like with the woods and the spices and the lavender and all that I do like this fragrance a little bit better than this one. I'm not a fan of a synthetic smelling oud, and I know this, they probably say that this is real oud in it. To me, it comes across as very synthetic. It smells like a very synthetic, leathery oud fragrance with that sugar sweetness. It smells nice. Again, it's pleasant. When I smell it on other people, I immediately recognize it and I notice it. And so it gets you noticed. It is probably the best compliment factor of any of these fragrances, but to me, it's the least best smelling. So those are my thoughts on the three monsters of the fragrance community. The compliment beast. I'm gonna put them like this here. This to me is my favorite, followed by these two. What do you think? How would you rank these three fragrances? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, do all those things. Remember, perfume and fragrance rejoices the heart. And till I see you down the road, I say God bless. Frag on frag.